The apartment doesn't echo. It absorbs. A black hole for sound. 19 days have passed since the key turned in the lock for the last time, and the silence has grown into a physical presence. It has a weight that presses on my chest, a shape that stands in the corner of my eye. It is the negative space of a second person, a soundproof tomb where the only percussion is the frantic, useless drumming of my own heart against my ribs. By day, I wage a war of noise. Podcasts screamed at a volume that makes the speakers buzz, a sitcom I'm not watching painting the walls with canned laughter. A barricade of sound, but night comes for my defenses. It dismantles them without a sound, brick by useless brick, until I am alone in the skeletal frame of what was. The exhaustion I've been hunting all day finally turns on me, leaves me pinned and awake, my face lit by the cold, sterile blue of the screen in my hand. And so the ritual begins. A nightly seance with the digital ghost of us, not his Instagram. That door was bolted on day one. This is a deeper, more pathetic circle of hell. Our shared location. A feature born of safety, now a weapon I turn on myself. I open the app and there it is. A single pulsing blue star in the dark map of the city. His life moving on without me. Tonight it hovers downtown, a constellation of bars we always meant to visit. I pull the screen so close my breath fogs the glass, a ghost trying to touch the living world. I imagine him there, at that cocktail bar, the dark wood, the low lights. I can almost feel the vibration of his laugh, the one that used to travel from his chest into mine. He's telling a story to a new face, one I refuse to conjure. An hour I watch this ghost star, this tiny, detached heartbeat, until it drifts back to a part of the city I do not know. It stills, he is home. And I am here, the keeper of the phantom limb. Tonight, the ache has teeth. The loneliness is a shard of glass under my ribs. I do the one thing they tell you never to do. I open the mausoleum of our text messages. I scroll past the sterile final words, mail, bills, logistics. I scroll until the screen is a time machine, taking me back to the light. A photo of a dog with a human-looking face. An inside joke whose language I no longer speak. A sob rips its way out of my throat, a sound so raw and ugly it doesn't feel like my own. And then I shatter. My heart hammers a panicked rhythm against my bones. A small, sane part of my brain screams at me, this is it. This is the cliff. You are about to light yourself on fire for a warmth that is already ash. But the need for a sign, for a single ripple in the placid water of his new life, it's a tidal wave. My thumb trembles. One word, sparrows. It was our covenant. Forged from a dumb story about two birds building a nest of mud and string outside our window that first spring. It meant, look what we can build from nothing. It was our private, hopeful magic. I am about to turn our magic into a curse. My finger hovers over the send icon. A trigger. I squeeze my eyes shut and pull. The bubble ignites, a venomous blue. The word delivered is a scar branded beneath it. Regret is not a slow poison. It is a gunshot. It slams into my solar plexus, stealing the air from my lungs. Nausea churns like a storm. What did I do? I took the last sacred, fragile thing and threw it at his new door like a stone. And now I wait in the shrapnel. The silence that answers is different. It is not an absence. It is a reply. It is the thick, suffocating weight of being seen and intentionally ignored. A minute, 10, an hour. The three dots, the ghosts of a response, never materialize. My word just sits there, an epitaph for my own dignity. My arm tenses, a primal urge to hurl the phone, to watch it explode against the wall. But I can't. The finality is too much to bear. I slide from the bed, my bare feet hitting the ice-cold kitchen linoleum. I don't pace, I fold. Sinking to the floor, my back against the unforgiving cabinets, arms wrapped around my knees as if to hold myself together. A cold that has nothing to do with the room settles into my marrow. I stare at the salt shaker on the counter as the black window bleeds into a bruised, hopeless gray. This is the bottom. Not a scream into the void, but a single silent shiver in the dark. The next day was a haze of gray light and the endless, mindless scroll, a desperate attempt to outrun the echo of my own humiliation. I landed on some sterile lifestyle blog, an article on mending clothes. Its wholesomeness was an insult. But in the comments, buried beneath praise for darning socks, one from a user called Cardigan Dad 88 was a flare in the dark. He wrote, "Weird place for this. But if what you're trying to mend is bigger than a sweater, My sister sent me this. She called it the 7-day anchor chain. Just a list of small, stupid physical things. She said it won't pull you to shore, but it might stop you from drifting further out. It did for me, and he listed them. Scrub the ghost, delete their number, block them on every single platform, turn them from a person into a memory, change your air, strip your bed, wash every single thing, sleep in a place that smells only of you. The 5 senses walk, go outside. For 15 minutes, find 5 things you can see, 4 you can hear, 3 you can feel, 2 you can smell, 1 you can taste. The body map. Lie on the floor. For 5 minutes, just notice where the tension lives. Jaw, shoulders, hands. Don't fix it. Just name it. Low stakes connection. Text one friend you haven't spoken to in a month. Just thinking of you. 6. The train station. When the thought of them arrives, picture it as a train. The 2:15 of he's never coming back. Acknowledge it. And let it pull out of the station. Do not get on. 7. The first color. The second you wake up, before any other thought, name the first color you see. Stop you from drifting further out. That was me. Adrift in the silent gray ocean of my apartment. I had nothing left to lose. What was the harm in holding a chain? Day 1. Scrub the ghost. This was an amputation. His name in my contacts felt like a living thing. Deleting it felt like a murder. Then the methodical blocking, each tap a small cold severance. When I was done, my phone felt lighter, inert, just glass and metal again. The silence in the room felt cleaner, less occupied. Day 2. Change your air. I tore the bed apart. His shampoo, a phantom scent on the pillowcase, was a punch to the throat. I threw everything in the wash, drowned it in detergent, set it to burn. I sat on the bare mattress, a life raft in the middle of the room. That night, climbing into sheets that smelled of nothing but heat and soap, was the first gentle thing I had felt in weeks. I slept for 3 unbroken hours. Day 3. The 5 senses walk. My apartment was a bunker. Leaving it felt like a betrayal. But I did. The air was cold on my face. 5 things I see: a spiderweb on a railing, a single red leaf, a scuff mark on my shoe, a plane's trail dissolving in the blue, a neighbor's welcome mat. 4 things I hear: a car horn, sparrows arguing, the hum of the building, my own breathing. For 15 minutes, my brain was an instrument, not a prison. It was simply here. The next days bled together in a series of small, deliberate movements. I lay on the floor and discovered a knot in my shoulder I'd been carrying for weeks. I texted an old friend, and her immediate, cheerful reply felt like a broadcast from another world. The thought trains still pulled into the station, thick with black smoke, but watching them leave without me on board began to feel not like a fight, but a choice. This morning was day 7. My eyes opened. Before his name could form, before the ache could settle in, I saw it. The flat, clean white of the ceiling. And the thought that came next was not a memory. It looks like it might rain. A few minutes ago, making toast, my reflection swam into view on the dark screen of the microwave. I stopped, I looked. I still look like hell. Pale, shadowed eyes. But the hunted look was gone. The tension that had been pulling my features into a permanent wince had softened. In my own eyes, I saw a stillness. Not happiness. Not yet, but peace. The quiet, calm exhaustion after a fever has finally broken. So if you're out there, and the clock on your phone says 3 a.m., and your thumb is hovering over a name that feels like an open wound, listen. I'm not fixed. I'm not whole. But I am not drifting. A stranger's stupid list didn't pull me to shore. But it was a chain I could hold, link by link, until I remembered I knew how to float. It gave me something to do with my hands other than drown. Put the phone down. Just for tonight. Tomorrow, try day 1. It is a small, stupid thing. But it will be the first thing in a long time that is only yours.